Yes, good morning to you, Dudu. We wait until about midday until we expect the Occupy Luthuli House, movement to hand over their memorandum of demands. As you quite rightly mentioned, it's no longer going to be a protest as such. There is a number of protesters that have gathered at Beyers-Naudé Square, about a block and a half away from Luthuli House. But without further ado, one of the main opponents of this Occupy Luthuli House movement has been the Mkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association, and their chairperson joins us now. Kebi Mabatswe, thank you for joining us on eNCA. Why is the MKMVA so opposed to this movement, this Occupy Luthuli House movement? Surely in a democracy, with internal democracy within the ANC, people should be allowed to protest?
People should be allowed to protest, but if you talk about occupying Luthuli House, it's different from protest. You are saying the ANC must not do its work. So as MKMVA in 2012, at our conference addressed by the president of the ANC, President Jacob Zuma, he gave us instructions. And one of the instructions was to make sure by all means, at all times, to defend the black, green and gold. So we are here to defend the black, green and gold, which is the ANC and the ANC property. People are allowed to demonstrate. If they are here to bring a memorandum, it's fine. The leadership of the ANC will receive a memorandum. But if you are saying you are going to occupy, it's something else.
How do you respond to their assertions that they called off their march because of threats of violence and intimidation from not only the MKMVA but also the ANC Youth League?
It's lies. It's lies. They don't have support of their actions. So they're trying to cast aspersions that they were threatened, the buses were stopped. There's nothing like that. You can't stop them. What we are saying with the Youth League, the message was very simple. Don't come and occupy the Luthuli House. You can protest and give the memorandum to the leadership of the ANC. There's no problem with that.
How is the ANC to meet the challenges that the governing party is facing at the moment? It seems that there's a lot of division within the ANC's ranks. A lot of people are saying this might be the most divided the organization's ever been. How does the ANC solve this?
Look, the ANC has been facing challenges many a times, and it overcomes them. So this one is one of the challenges that we'll overcome. But people who are talking outside, as if they understand the ANC better, we don't agree with them. Come inside and understand how the ANC is working.
What about discipline within the party? ANC Secretary General Gwede Mantashe has been quite critical of structures within the governing party, speaking out on their own, MKMVA being one of them. Last week you criticized the finance minister. Do you think that the best way to exhibit unity within the ANC and indeed within government is to call each other out on public platforms?
Look, we are an autonomous structure, which is an integral part of the African National Congress. We have got our own structure, we have got our own resolutions as MKMVA, we have got our own views. So we are not going to be censored to say don't speak this. But if the ANC feels that there's something wrong that we said, it is their duty to call us and sit down with us and say, comrades, this is not how you are supposed to behave.
Maybe last but not least from my side, MKMVA, do you want an early consultative conference? Do you want an early elective conference? What are you seeking following the results of the local government elections in August?
Look, the NEC of the ANC has taken a decision. Over the weekend we had an NEC of MKMVA where we endorsed the decision of the ANC of taking a collective decision, going around the provinces, meeting with the branches of the African National Congress. There is no early conference. The conference is next year, 2017. All of us will go there.
And perhaps some advice to the protesters that are here today?
Advice to the protesters is to say, let them behave. If they want to bring a memorandum to the leadership of the ANC, it's fine. But what we are worried also as MKMV is that it seems as if this thing is only here in Gauteng, and people who are wanting to demonstrate are from Gauteng, and we want to call upon the leadership of the ANC in Gauteng to really discipline these comrades, because they are behaving in an ill-disciplined manner. This is not how we behave in the ANC.
Thank you very much for that. That is Mkhonto Wesizwe Military Veterans Association Chairperson Kebi Mapatswe joining us outside Luthuli House. We expect the protesters from the Occupy Luthuli movement to move down from Bears Nordia Square at about midday today. That's when they say that they will be handing over their memorandum of demands to ANC leadership. Of course, know that it's an important day, Monday at the ANC headquarters. If the National Working Committee is not meeting, it will at least be the top 6 of the ANC. And from what we understand, that meeting is still to go ahead today. It's business as usual at the governing party headquarters. But let's see whether or not my colleague Siki Ndigi is standing by with some news from Bears Nordia Square, where the Occupy Luthuli House movement has gathered.
Nicholas, before I let you go, a little bit earlier it appeared that there were some disagreements between members of the media and the MK veterans. Can you give us some clarity on that issue?
Beg your pardon, Duda, I didn't hear the question.
Clarity on some of the confrontations between members of the media and members of the MK veterans. What happened there?
Well, essentially what has been happening is that members of the MK-MVA have set up a perimeter around ANC headquarters and essentially have not allowed any members of the public, any members of the media, anybody really to come close to Luthuli House and its entrance. There seems to be a bit of a commotion here as well, and there's been these little, I wouldn't say skirmishes, but outbursts of confrontation between members of the MK-MVA and members of the media when they feel as though they're getting maybe just a little bit too close and are preventing them from protecting Luthuli House.